Hi everyone, Jacqueline here. So we have another windy day in Saskatchewan, but it's plus 24 Celsius and it is nice out. Fall is upon us and we are starting to see some colder temperatures at night. It's going down to about plus 4 Celsius at night, so it's getting a bit cool. We have a windy day and the leaves are really starting to fall. But what I want to do today is I want to give you a tour of how the front yard garden is looking, what's doing well, what's starting to fade out, and really just an overall view of how the garden's doing today before we start preparing for fall and starting to change the plants out and decorate. Now is the time too to start moving plants around and adding anything you want for next year when you find those deals. But anyhow, let's begin the garden tour, and I hope you'll stay and watch it, and I hope you enjoy it. So my driveway containers here are doing good. We added those extra plants in here, you can see, and they're hanging in there. My issue right now is finding time to get out here and look after them and water them has been a bit of a challenge, but they're doing great. Geraniums are looking a little bit spindly, but things are looking good here. So that is that one. We have 5 pots here in the driveway. Petunias, these ones have been just absolutely excellent. I am happy with them. They're still blooming and going hard. I can't say how much I like those, and those are just a regular petunia. So compared to wave petunias, the regular petunias have done very well for hanging in there and blooming at this time of year. Coleus is still here, and you can see the new plants there, and you can see the petunia I added. Let's go up here to the next one. Very full basket. I say this one is doing really well because of the shade from the tree above is making the difference on it. Petunias, once again, the same petunia looking great. There is some wave petunia there in the white, and some pansies still are perking their heads up. So that's kind of cool. And then you can see the white geranium here, which I love. I would definitely grow more white geraniums. I didn't have many because they came in the mixed seeds, but I would do it again. So you can see that there. And there's the new petunia I added. I thought it was the other one, but it's this one. And it hasn't opened yet, but it looks good. So future self, what I would tell myself is to make sure I start plants later on in the season to add to fall containers when things get spent. Same with this one, looking gorgeous. And this one's looking okay. It's not looking as good as the rest, but it's okay. Cosmos are showing that they're carrying on to bloom. I have pruned these back probably 2 or 3 times now, and I'll have to prune them again because I prune to get rid of the spent blooms and to keep them blooming, and it seems to be working. The bees are loving them, and the petunias along the edge are hanging in there. They need a lot of water though. So with this wind that we have today, super windy day, I won't be watering till late tonight. You can see how the cosmos are doing and the bees. I now have other cosmos in bloom that I didn't have before. You can see here, I really like this one with the stripes. It's quite pretty. If I fertilized it more, they might be bigger, so that's a note to myself again. Here are the powder puffs starting to open, and the regular cosmos. We have more powder puffs. They were really late because I was 2 weeks behind planting them after the other ones, but look at how pretty they are. I just love them. Definitely, I think I'm going to try to hold out as long as I can and collect seed from them. And you can see them all here. Very, very tall. And there's the odd single white one in here. Now that's from the mixed cosmos. And we have some nice magentas. So these are looking really, really good. And wow, these would have been a lot higher. So these are a good about 5.5 feet high. They were higher if I wouldn't have cut them back. Isn't that gorgeous? So if you haven't tried the Powder Puff Cosmos, give them a go. They're well worth it. I love anything with the double flowering, the double petals on it. So gorgeous. All right, let's talk about my pots on the step. These are still the original pots. I have not added anything to them. I have cut them back, as you can see, and they're doing good. Anybody who says pansies are only for spring, they're so wrong. You can grow them all season, and I can prove it here in a colder climate. You cut them back and they just come right back. I definitely would plant more pansies or grow them from seed. These ones are from seed, and they were mixed, and I really like them. Maybe the flowers aren't as big, but they're definitely coming back. All right, let's step over here. Gaillardia. This is Gaillardia grew from seed. You can see, and I'm getting a bit of a shadow. And I just threw them here because I didn't know where I was going to put them, and they've done really well. So we'll just carry on. We have an Annabelle hydrangea in the corner here, right by my hose. It's doing great, and of course the lilies are done. I haven't cut them all back yet because I left the ones tall that I want to move. And my giant lavender iris here needs to be split. Our sedums are all in flower here. Really loving it. A little too close to the house there. Needs to be moved. It's hard for me to get in there without getting stung. Window boxes right here. You can see myself in the picture. Looking good. Happy. No change there. They're kind of protected there under the eaves of the house. And I think they're looking great. Here are the phlox that we planted. And here's my creeping phlox. These were the pink beauty creeping phlox. I had planted purple in the back and purple on the border by the cosmos. So this is the pink. And the heucheras are all hanging in there. And my morning glories are about to tip my arbor right over. They are swaying, well, the arbor's swaying in the wind. And yeah, they have been quite the sensation this year. I can't help but say how impressed I am with them, but man, they need a stronger trellis. It needs to be more secure to the house, but a bigger one should be put in. Another window box, looking good. They're hanging in there. Can't believe it, but they're hanging in there, those plants. Lots of ladybugs around. Something I wanted to point out to you guys that I haven't showed you is here is one of my bearded irises, and these are the rebloomers. So you can see I actually have buds. It's going to bloom late. It's supposed to be midsummer, but it's going to bloom in the fall. So I'm anxious to see what color it is because, as you guys remember, I moved all these bearded irises. So I really don't know what's what for color. So that should be interesting. You can see my Annabelle here is big and beautiful. Loving it. Hanging in there. We still have petunias here. And these zinnias are well worth planting. They just bloom, bloom, bloom. And they're a short zinnia. It's perfect for the front of a border. We have my hydrangea here that did not bloom. And it's supposed to be an Annabelle. Did not bloom. Not sure why. Maybe next year. And more zinnias back here in the oranges. And I think those are Benneries, possibly. I think I pointed out in the last video what they were. Here again, we have zinnias. They probably should be cut the spent blooms off of to keep them blooming. So I might do that. And I think if I cut them, I'll save the seed heads and then I'll let them dry and then I can plant more. More Annabelles here. There's a little bit of water damage on them, but that's okay. Over here, we have some zinnias with Annabelle. They're actually quite a nice combination together. And then here, just zoom out, you can see my group of zinnias. Love this color. They're so pretty. Isn't that stunning? My roses are blooming again. These are my Chinooks. They are so reliable. And then I had mixed zinnias in the back. I think they're Benneries and they're just mixed. They're the speckled ones. I don't know if you guys have seen them. You can buy them usually in any store in the spring, the seed packs, but they're actually speckled. I'll show you how speckled they are. Kind of cool. And I just want to show you what I really like about zinnias. I like them when they get big like that. If you leave them long enough, sometimes they get nice and big like that and full like a pom-pom. That's what I like about the zinnias. I did cut the yarrow back and you can see it's all blooming again. That's wonderful. And this one's starting to bloom. The 9 barks are looking great. I still need to cut some salvias back. Here are my lime zinnias, or envy they're called. Envy zinnias. And they are gorgeous lime green. And now that the limelight hydrangea has turned pink, the green actually looks kind of cool with it there. Glorious colors on the limelights. This is their first full year of being in the ground, and they are looking really pretty. They're well worth cutting and taking in. You can see an Annabelle here, I would say. If I just zoom out, then you can see it. And you can see the morning glories are in bloom and how pretty they're looking. I like this color. I think it's so pretty, the light blue. So highly recommend morning glories. You can see my lamb's ear here. Monster needs to be cut back. I have left it for the pollinators, but I don't see any on it. So if there aren't any on it tonight, I might come out and give it a cut back. And then we're into the wild zone where I have really beautiful zinnias here. And then this dang Mexican orange sunflower. See it blowing in the wind. And they're still aimed up. You can see I get the odd flower down. I think I'd rather show you the zinnias though. They're far more beautiful. I mean, the orange is okay, but they're perfect for a shelter belt. That's about it. They're a beast. But the zinnias are really, really pretty. I want to save seeds off these. Same with these. I love the arrangement of the pastel colors in this mix of zinnias. And you can see the odd morning glory that has snuck into it here. You can see the vines wrapping up here because here is one. So it's gone rogue on me, but that's okay. But look at these zinnias. Isn't that pretty? Definitely worth planting them again. And then we have salvias that are done that I need to trim. Oh, and more cornflower right there. Super, super high. So you need something tall. That's the way to go. Here are my limelights again. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at the colors. And the potentillas are blooming again. This one I'm going to have to feed it again because it looks like it needs more. It's very chlorosis looking. And I need to cut the yarrow back again. Looks like I did cut most of it, but still some that was finishing that I need to do. And we got potentillas and thistles. Gee whiz, can't keep up with those damn thistles. And then we have hydrangeas here. So you can see how that's looking right along that border there. It looks kind of wild actually. And the hydrangea here. Foxglove is finishing. And I believe there's seeds that can be collected here. We're just going to look at it real close. And then we have potentillas here. And then I have zinnias here that did not get enough room, and so they're not in bloom yet. But they're going to bloom if they get a chance. So I wouldn't plant them again there. And then there's the heliopsis, or heliopsis there. So you can see how things are looking. More gaillardia here. Or not gaillardia, gazania. Gee whiz, Jack. So here is how things are looking from the front yard here as we walk across under the shade of the trees, which is nice to have a bit of shade in the yard. Perfect area to put a couple lawn chairs actually. It's so nice and sheltered, and Rob did a great job edging them out. I need to come in and clean them up though. And you see my little wren house here. Didn't show you. But that's how things are looking in the yard. And if I just go out here, you can see my pear trees really dropping today with this wind. But you can see how the front yard's looking. Oh, and I didn't show you guys my wreath I put on the front door. I mean, I haven't started my fall decorating yet. Well, I wouldn't say I have, but I'll show you this wreath. Oops, leaf just hit me on the head. And there goes a monarch butterfly. How cool is that? It was on the pansies, you guys. So plant pansies. Here's my wreath. Isn't that pretty? I just found a plaque at the dollar store and put in there. And I made the wreath, and I think it's just looking glorious. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I just wanted to give you an update on how things are doing at this time of year, because one of these days, a lot of it will be gone. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.